On today's show, we're going to break down the perfect offseason for the Golden State Warriors, what would look like a perfect offseason at least. But before we do that, subscribe to Golden State Warriors today. It's youtube.com/WarriorsTV. We're almost at 31,000 subs. Let's get there before the NBA draft. youtube.com/WarriorsTV. We're currently at 30,884. Need 116 more subs to get there. Welcome into Warriors Today by Chat Sports. I'm your host, Harrison Graham. We have a perfect offseason planned for you guys on today's show. An 8-step plan to repeat for NBA champions if you are the Golden State Warriors. Let's get into it. We'll go in order here, 1 to 8. Number 1, got to prioritize Jordan Poole and Andrew Wiggins. These are two guys that, in my opinion, proved their worth all year long, but especially in the playoffs. There were numerous games where Jordan Poole came in there and put up 25 points off the bench. He was starting earlier in the playoffs. Look at his growth. Look at his breakout this year. 18.5 points, improved as a distributor, 4 assists a game. 45%, 36% from three. It's kind of a mini Steph Curry. Now, he's not going to ever shoot to that efficiency, but what's crazy is he's still improving, guys. Jordan Poole still has room to grow as a basketball player. I think he's a perfect fit in this system. He's an unselfish player, someone who is willing to come off the bench for this team, whereas I think he would have started for any of the other 29 teams in the NBA, but in the playoffs, with the way guys like Andrew Wiggins were playing, coming off the bench is what he needed to do, and he did it very well. And then Wiggins was tremendous also. You know, that game 5 in the NBA playoffs, he was fantastic. He did a good job against the Mavericks and Luka Doncic. Just really, really good. Kudos to him as well, because I think people unfairly labeled him a bust earlier in his career, and he was never a bust. Maybe he's never been that number 1 pick guy, but he's been a tremendous player. He was this team's second best player in the finals. That's just a fact. You could argue throughout the playoffs he was this team's second best player next to Stephen Curry. So I think you keep Poole, you keep Wiggins long term, extend them, and keep them in the fold moving forward. Now, if you had to pick one, because maybe that happens, one of these guys dips you too far into the luxury tax, who would you pick? Type P for Jordan Poole, type W for Andrew Wiggins. Tough call, because Poole's better offensively, Wiggins is better defensively. Step number 2 in the ideal offseason plan is re-sign Gary Payton II. Listen, Gary Payton came in here and showed what he's about, man. This is a guy who bounced back to the G League, I think 5 times in his career before this year, and he came in and played a role. This year, shot the ball pretty well from deep, really efficient from the field. Didn't shoot a ton, but what he did, he was able to score. Also, excellent on-ball defender. I thought his defense of intensity helped change the finals when he came back from that wrist injury. He was fantastic. Be curious to see what type of contract he gets, but if you can get him back, I think that would be huge. Number 3, and this could be one where you may have to draw an X here, depending on what other teams are willing to do. Can you get Looney on a hometown deal? You go to Kevon Looney, who I think is an ideal backup big, a really good backup center who can start in a pinch. I do think he is that. He is an ideal backup. But can you go to him and be like, hey, man, I know other teams might give you $7, $8, $9 million. We take 4 or 5 to stay here, something like that. It's going to be tough. If you're Kevon Looney, you're probably like, man, this might be my last chance to cash in at a decent clip. His last contract was about 3 years, $15 million. This one could be one of the tougher ones to pull off, but I think Kevon Looney is a guy that played a huge role in the playoffs. Memphis series, he was fantastic. Played really well against Dallas as well. Pick one to re-sign, because this could be a real decision you have to make. Type 0 for Gary Payton, type 5 for Kevon Looney. Could come down to how they feel about James Wiseman, in all honesty. If they feel really good about where he's at, maybe the answer is 0. If they don't, maybe the answer is 5. Type your votes down below. Speaking of one James Wiseman, get him ready to go. Get him ready to rock and roll for this upcoming season because he missed all of last year. He's missed about 1.5 years now. Now, Wiseman last week said that there's about a 90% chance that he's going to go out and play in the summer league. So that's a positive sign if you are Golden State. Now, what I would add on top of that is the Warriors need to decide if he's a part of their future plans. Is he a piece moving forward? If not, do you explore a trade? Maybe you trade Wiseman and that number 28 pick for something. If he is a part of the future, good. Get him out there. Get him in the summer league. Usually a number 2 overall pick wouldn't play in the summer league entering his 3rd year, but this is a guy that hadn't played in a year and a half, so I think he should play in the summer league if he's healthy. He needs to get back and get ready to go and be a part of this team. The NBA draft is coming up on Thursday night, and we're going to have it covered for you guys on our main Chat Sports YouTube channel, youtube.com/chatsportstv. Subscribe, join us. We'll have analysis of every single pick, including the Warriors selections. We'll see if they keep their first-round pick or not, but if they do keep it, we'll have it covered. If they don't keep it, we'll have it covered. Subscribe right now, youtube.com/chatsportstv. All right, 4 steps down, 4 to go. Jonathan Kuminga, take the next step. Saw a lot of flashes this year. I think he flashed that potential. He even got to play a little bit in that Mavericks series, which I think is good experience for him moving forward. But I thought he showed some good things when he did get to play this year in 17 minutes per game, averaged 9 points, shot the ball really well from the field, and wasn't as bad of a three-point shooter as I thought. I mean, 33.5% as a rookie isn't bad for a guy that most people said is not a good shooter at all. If he could get that into the mid-30s this year and continue to grow there, I think that would be fantastic. I think with a guy like Andre Iguodala likely not coming back, Jonathan Kuminga needs to step up. And Otto Porter is also a free agent, so Moses Moody, fellow second-year player, could be in line to step up and kind of take on that role. A little bit smaller than Porter, but I think a guy coming off the bench to eat some minutes and be a 3-and-D player, that could be in line for Moses Moody, who can play kind of the 2 or the 3, good three-point shooter. Got, decent amount of run last year, but I think will be in line for a bigger role this year. I actually think he fits the system really well. So I think guys like Kuminga and Moody, look for them to take that next step. More points per game next year. Who's going to have more scoring for this team? Type K for Jonathan Kuminga, type M for Moses Moody. Who do you think is going to average more points this upcoming year? All right, number 7 here, bargain hunt for role players, right? I mean, shoot, if you can get Otto Porter back on the minimum, that would be great, but I think he played well enough where he could be in line for a mid-level, taxpayers mid-level, something like that, but you need to find some guys who can, come in and play for cheap. I think these are some guys to keep in mind. Ricky Rubio, if you want like a true backup point, he could play that for you. TJ Warren is another player that could come in and be a 3-and-D guy off the bench. Kyle Anderson, maybe he's going to make a little bit more money. We'll see. JaVale McGee as a backup center. DeMarcus Cousins, who actually played pretty well for the Nuggets. Obviously, the Warriors know him. All these guys could be in line to play more minutes. All right, number 8, just get ready to go, right? Get rested. Steph, get rest. Klay Thompson, rest up after playing a lot, after not playing for a couple of years, and, get ready to run it back. This is a team that's going to have that target back on them again next year. I think they're the favorites to repeat. I know the betting odds suggest that. I believe that as well. No reason why this team can't, be in the championship hunt for the next at least 2 or 3 years as Steph and these guys, start to get a little older, but as they just showed, they are very capable of winning another championship. Like this video if you think the Warriors are going to repeat as NBA champions. Let me know in the comments if you think that's going to happen. Go ahead and hit that thumbs up icon. And, of course, subscribe to Golden State Warriors Today, youtube.com/WarriorsTV. We will continue to have you covered over there with the latest Golden State Warriors news and rumors, so don't miss any of it on our Warriors channel.